I do not think that there is a businessman in this state or any other state or anywhere that would turn around and buy into an open-ended company where you have no idea of what your production costs are going to be. You have no idea what it's going to cost you to build the plant, nor your production costs when you're done, and lock it in for 50 years that you will take the hit no matter what happens.
This is just my opinion, that if AMP Ohio delivers this program, at any moment they could say, well, our cost went up, therefore you're going to have the municipality have to pay an additional cost. Well, if that's the case, the only way that the municipality could pay that cost is to pass that cost increase to the residents who live in this city. I've never read anything concrete, a concrete commitment from AMP Ohio, what they wanted to do or what they intended to do. It was very vague, and my vote was no, because I just didn't go along with what they were saying.
This plant, AMP Ohio, so much of the technology that we're going to pay for has never been proven. This is experimental. There's no guarantee any of this is going to work. So if they do build the plant and then realize, well, we can't bring it online, we're still stuck in the contract. So then where does our base power load come from? Where does any of our power come from?
Well, then we do the same thing that every other city that doesn't have their own power plant does.
Buy off the grid.
And you buy off the grid. Now the cost of what it's going to cost us to buy into this versus what it's going to cost us to buy off the grid, we're far, far ahead buying off the grid and not locking ourselves into a long-term project like this that we have no idea what the costs are. We originally started at 1.2 billion. Yep. We're at 3-point-some billion, and we haven't even broke ground.
Let's take that money that AMP Ohio's sinking into that. If we all pooled our money, every municipality that has bought into that, we could do better. I know we could do better. I moved my business out here from Cleveland because Painesville had its own power plant. And we were told it was 40% cheaper. And first time I fired, it actually was 40% cheaper. My kilns were running about $28 to run in Cleveland, and they were running about $8 here. And I was thrilled, and it definitely impacts me.
Can't see making a commitment to something you have no idea what it's going to cost you.
Right.
And then you have no idea what you're going to pay for it.
I went to council and I read off all the technological stuff that's happened in 50 years in our lifetime.
Yes.
And it is shocking. From computers to telephones to space travel, and we're going to sign in for a coal burning plant for 50 years. This is ancient technology. This is really, truly ancient technology, and we're buying into this for 50 years.
The decisions that you are making today are going to affect this community for 30, 40, 50 years down the road. And if it's a bad decision and you continue to let it go on, 50 years from now it's still going to be a bad decision.
Just at this pinnacle point where it could turn, we could make this work to our benefit and get out of the Rust Belt and get into new technology. And for us to sink our money into a coal-fired burning plant 250, 300 miles away from where we live, breathe, and eat is insanity. It just doesn't, it will never make sense to me. And at what cost?
The last thing that I would want to say that I am responsible for is giving my children's future away. And when you're making a 50-year commitment, that's exactly what you're doing.